Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is well. I hope you're all been finding time for some crafty fun, what you've been making this time. Can I just take this wee moment just to thank everybody for all their kind words they gave me on my last video. It's great to know that when I'm making something, even if there's mistakes, you just don't mind, because like someone said, everybody makes mistakes and it's good to know that we're all human. For today's tutorial, we're going to create a bauble card. So we're going to do something like this today. Now I know, again, it's another big card, but it's just to show you how it's made. You can use your own dies and reduce the size. There's a template that I will link in the comments below that's free for you to download. It's the same size as this. If I show you from the back, you'll see it's quite a big size, but you could reduce it. If you print it out, you can reduce it, or if you use it on as an SVG, you can reduce the size. It doesn't matter, but I'll show you some hints and tips as we go through so you can create your own if you don't want to use the template. For this one, I used some really old papers. You can just make them out. They're not the greatest, but it's a really old pack from first edition called Winter Wishes. And it was this one I used. You can just see there's some, sorry about the light, it's just flickering, snowflake design on it. I also used the Christmas Magnolia from Chloe's Creative Cards. It's a lovely set. I used that for all my embellishments apart from the Merry Christmas. I cut that out as an SVG and added lots and lots of glitter and sparkle. And the glitter I used for that one was Sky's the Limit. And you can see, maybe if I open it you'll see better. Look at all that sparkle in there. So today's video I'm going to use the same dies just to match it up. I'm also going to add some little snowflakes in. And also the papers I'm using are these ones from the Craft Consortium. I just love this blue-green tone. And the papers that I've used is this one. I don't know about you, but it reminds me of alcohol inks. And I just thought it was lush. So what I'm going to do, go and get everything cut out, and then we can get started. So now I've got everything all cut out. You can see I've cut out 2 of the basic shapes. I'll show you how to put them together in a minute. I've also cut one of the large frames to go on the front. This will make it nice and sturdy. I've cut a large circle, and then I've cut 2 more scallop circles with a matching circle to go on top. I've also die cut a Merry Christmas sentiment, and I just used my Silhouette Cameo to do that, and I made a layer for it to sit on. Then I cut out one of the wee tabs for the top. That will go on this. I've also stamped and embossed my flowers. I've cut 1 layer for each flower I do from the pattern paper, embossed in a gold, and I've also cut 2 from Vellum. And I have cut out 4 small, 2 medium and 1 large. And all my leaves I've cut from Vellum and embossed in gold as well. And I cut out the centres, but I'm going to add some detail to them. Then I die cut lots of snowflakes just in white, and I used a die set that I got last year off of Amazon. It's just the Sizzix Thinlits, I think it's a Tim Holt one. Paper Snowflakes Mini it's called, and I just cut 1 of each of these. I mean, it's got loads in it as you can see, and I'm going to decorate them. Before I get started, if you don't want to use a template but you still want to make a bauble style card, if you just die cut your largest scallop, you'll get your basic shape. If you cut 2 out, you can make your card, but for your wee hangy loop, if you take 2 circle dies, put them together, and then you die cut out your frame, that'll give you your basic hanging loop. Cut 2, it'll be nice and sturdy, and you can have it on the top. If I pop it behind, you'll see it better. You can see you've got your wee loop. If you just have that's you all set. Maybe cut it from gold, any colour you want, and you're ready to go. So first I'll show you quickly how the card's made, and then we'll get to decorating, adding some detail to everything. So first of all, you're going to take one of them, and I'm going to take my scoreboard, sorry about the noise, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that it's lined up straight, and I'm going to score about there. See, that is about 2 inches almost down from the top. And then what I'm going to do is fold it that way. And fold it again. This way. And then all I have to do now is stick these 2 layers together, and that'll give me my opening for my card. So we'll get on with that. My glue. Just trying to finish this bottle, it's nearly done, so hopefully we'll get enough. And that'll give you your basic card shape. Also, you'll notice I've got a teeny little score line, ignore the light, here. And that's so I'm going to trim it. If I show you quickly on the other card, make sure that your card, to make sure that your card stands straight, I like to cut a wee bit off the bottom, and it stops it from rocking, and it'll just stand up. So I've just made that on the template. You can take it out if you don't want to use it, if you don't mind your card rocking about. I find it might start tipping if it's heavier on one side. So that's the basic card. All you've got to do is decorate. So I'm going to add on my layers. But I want to add on a wee tab first. So I'll leave my layers till last. So for my wee tab, I want to add some gold to it. So I'm going to use some embossing powder and do that quickly. Get a wee scrap of paper, 2 seconds. And what I'm going to do, right side up, I'm going to just push it into my embossing powder. Paper, move it about, do it twice. And then I'm going to put it on my card. I missed a bit, I'll just get all over. That way. And then add my embossing powder. There we go. And then I just have to emboss, so I'll quickly do that off screen so you don't have to listen to the noise. And I'll be back in a minute. So I've embossed the wee tab. I did it twice to get a more solid look. I've moved my light away because when I've got my mat out, you get that flicker. So, but you can see it in the light, it'll stand out more. So just move that light away for now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ink the edges of my flowers just on the vellum. I'm going to use my Distress Oxide Uncharted Mariner, and I'm just going to add a little bit. Just like that. And I'm going to repeat that for all of them. You can see it better when I lie it down. You can see the white. And it'll just bring it together. And all I'm going to do is buff off any excess that's lying on the embossing. You can just see, add white behind. You can see it better. So I'll just repeat that for all of them. and then we'll move on to the leaves. For my leaves, what I want to do is I'm going to turn them over and give them all a full colour. I think on the white you'll be able to see. Like that. Apologies for the noise. There's a dog barking outside somewhere and I've got all the windows open so you can hear it. Just going to do that. So now that's the leaves all done, I'm going to move on to the snowflakes, and what I want to do is get messy. So I'm adding my ink onto my mat. I'm going to spritz it with some water, and then I'm going to just take my snowflakes and dip them in, just so I get a bit of colour on them, some of them with a little. And I'll set these aside to dry, and then I'll add on some flakes of gold as well. Like that. So I'll set these aside and then we'll move on to the next step. The snowflakes are all dry now and I've lined them up on my mixed media mat. I've also got my leaves, the flower stamens and my Merry Christmas sentiment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of my metallic paints and I'm going to add some splashes of some sparkle to them. So I'm going to use my gold. I've got 2 golds here and a little bit of the white. So I'll start with the white first. And I'll just mix it up. Sorry, it's a way off screen. And then I'm just going to add flakes all over. You won't really see the white, but when I go to do the other colours, you will. So all I'm doing is putting colour on my brush and then just hitting my brush. Nothing fancy. And there we are. I'm going to set these aside to dry and then I'm going to add, I think, just a touch of Gilding Wax to bring everything together. So I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to put the card together. So first of all, I'm going to add on the wee gold tab just to the top of this card here, onto your card base. If you're not using the template again, you can add on your little die cut loop that you made. Like that. And then I'm going to put this on top, just so it's sandwiched in between. Next, I'm going to add on my first die cut circle. I'm just going to make sure I get this straight with the lines. I mean, that side would have been gorgeous as well. I'm going to add this on, but I'm going to use foam pads, so I'm just getting them. Sorry for the noise. A big roll that sits under the desk. If you don't want to add any dimension, you can just stick it directly on. But I want a wee bit of dimension on mine. and just repeat of these. So I added the last layer, and I've also added a edging of loose glitter. So I just did that off camera, and I'm just going to show you. All I've done is went right round the edge with my tacky glue. You could use glitter glue instead if you've got it. I didn't have any gold, so I'm having to use loose. And then once it's dry, I'll just brush off any excess that's still lying. There we go. So I'll just do the other side, other layer even, sorry, off camera, and then we'll get to making the flowers. I added the last ring of glitter around the bottom layer. Oh, got a wee smudge there. Just get rid of that. I'll brush that off once it's dry. You can see there's still some loose glitter lying on top, but I'll get rid of that once everything's dry. And anybody wants to know, the glitter that I used was Dos de Liche, which is fancy caramel. You can see, look at that colour. All that pigment, gorgeous. So now we're going to do the flowers. Move this into the side. So I'm going to add glitter to the top layer once I've got it on, and I'm going to use this one. It is Blue Diamond Sparkle. I'll add that on once I've made up the flowers. And all I'm going to do with the flowers, they're going to be in 3 layers. Sorry, I should maybe have done this to begin with. There you go. If I take the largest one, it'd be the best one to show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to go along the petal, and I'm just going to bend upwards. That's it. And then pinch the end. And I'm just going to do that all the way around. Pinching the end. And then I'm going to bring all the petals into the middle. Cup them. That's it, nothing fancy. I'll just show you quickly again. On the vellum, just be careful with the vellum that you don't rip it. If you do your shape first, and then pinching the petals at the ends. Doesn't matter if they go forward or backward as long as they're pinched on the end, and then bringing them in together. And I'll do one more. That's it. So now what we're going to do with my hot glue is put them together. I'll put a blob on the back, and then I'm going to put the petals in between the spaces, like so, and then repeat for the top layer. Make sure. There we go. And then I will take my glue, put plenty in the middle, and then just add some up. Nothing fancy. You can miss this step out if you want. I just wanted to bring some more turquoisey blue into the rest of it. And then I will pop in my glitter. Making sure I get all the bits. I should have did this on scrap paper. And then I'll take scrap, just make sure, and I'll knock it all off. And then all I've got to do is add the same into the centre once they're all dry. So I'm going to do that for all my flowers. I'll do the glitter last. I'll make them all up and then glitter them all at the same time. I added all the glitter, as you can see. Just have to let it dry and then I can brush off the excess because it's still quite a bit there. Also, I decided I didn't like the Merry Christmas as it was, so I've added some of the same glitter to it. And also onto the stamens, still a bit sticky even. I've went and used some of that same gold glitter just on the dotty parts. I thought that would look quite nice. I'll put it in the right one. Inside instead, and it would bring both the gold and the blue glitters together. So I'm going to let all this dry and then I'll brush off the excess, and then it's just a matter we can start decorating. So I'll be back once everything's dry. I've brushed off all the excess glitter. See, there's still a teeny bit loose, but what can you do with loose glitter? It gets everywhere. Also, I took some of my gold gilding wax and I've added it to the snowflakes. You can see I've just popped it really randomly on the edges just to bring it together. So now what I'm going to do is build my card. I've got some twine. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. I've picked out some different ribbons, see different colours, see which one matches well with the card. I'm going to decide where I'm going to put the flowers. On the other card, see, I went that way. I think I'm going to go this way just to change it up a bit. And I'm going to use my hot glue to stick everything down. And I'm wondering if I should start with the smaller one so that it's basically right in line with that. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So what I'm going to do first is add my flowers on, then I'll add in my centres. I'm just going to use some hot glue and I'm going to pop them on. My medium one. Meters. Before I do anything else, I meant to add some of my larger snowflakes. I wanted to sort of tuck them in and around. So I'll do that next and I'll just trim them. I can find where's the scissors. So what I'm going to do is just trim off some of the bits and I'm going to tuck them in and around. I actually wanted them under some of the flowers, but we'll just go with what we've got. Them under. And that's it finished. There we go. I've added a few more gems, as you can see, some little loose ones. I've even popped a few on the flowers and on the leaves. There's a couple on the snowflakes as well. Just a touch of bling, big stones. Now that I see it though, I'm not sure about the sentiment. I think the harsh white layer is just standing out too much compared to like the snowflakes. I wish I had added some of the gold that I did on them. I mean, I can still do it. I could peel it off because it's just the foam pads and change it up. I'm not sure. I'll leave it as is for now. I also, as you can see, I trimmed the bottom like I had said before. I just followed that wee line and it helps it stand. It's not going to rock over. I also added a little layer inside. This just makes the back sturdy as well. It's just some half circles. Just helps it stand. We'll bring the other one in. You can see the difference. I mean, exact same card, apart from obviously the snowflakes on this one, but the difference, just changing the colour or the pattern paper. I made the sentiment a little bit bigger this time. That could be what's throwing me off here. But which one do you like best? Bold, paler, silvery, gold? I can't decide. I think I like them both. Let me know which one you like in the comments below. Can I just take the time to thank you all for watching the tutorial, for anyone that's been watching any of my previous tutorials. If you like this one, please give it a thumbs up. It really, really helps my channel. Maybe even leave a wee comment, tell me what you thought of the video, what you didn't like about the video, anything, just let me know. And if you fancy it, maybe become a follower. I post every 2 weeks and I'll have another one in 2 weeks as well for you. If there's anything that anyone really fancies me trying, or they've seen on my Instagram or my social media and Facebook, anything, let me know. I can do that as a tutorial. Anything, I'll give it a try. But until next time, bye!